Hello everyone, my name is Tarun Anand and you are watching Salesforce Decoder. So guys, I'm creating a new series on Apex programming and this is my first video. Guys, I'll be going to cover each and every topic of Apex programming in my upcoming videos and stay tuned with me guys. So without wasting time, let's deep dive into the introduction to Apex. So guys, I hope you guys can see my screen. This is just an introduction video on Apex. So let's see. So what exactly the Apex is? So Apex is a strongly typed, object-oriented, server-side, high-level programming language developed by Salesforce for building a robust application on the Salesforce platform. So in this statement, there are a couple of different keywords. Let's try to understand one by one. So what is the meaning of strongly typed? So strongly typed means we have to define the data type before declaring the variable. So that's the meaning of strongly typed. So there is a classification of programming language based on the type. So there are two categories, strongly typed versus loosely typed. So in case of strongly typed, we have to define the data type before declaring the variable, whereas in case of loosely typed, we don't need to declare the data type before the variable declaration. So the example of strongly typed is Apex, Java, C++, and the loosely typed example is JavaScript and Python. So let's try to understand it by using the practical. So let me go into the developer console and show you how we can declare the data type before the variable declaration. So this is the developer console. This is the developer console and you can, let me write one variable declaration here. Let me say first name is equal to Tarun, let's say. If I will save this particular program, it will throw the error. Now it is saying that, let me open the problem and it is saying the unexpected token. So it is saying that there is no data type uh, defined before the variable declaration. So it is, because it is a strongly typed programming language, we have to define the data type. So we have to write string before declaring the variable because this is of type string. So now you can see the problem is gone, and that is the meaning of strongly typed. And in case of JavaScript, if you have worked on the JavaScript, you know, like we will define the variable like var and then the variable name. So it will be evaluated based on the data that is stored inside the variable at the runtime. So that is the loosely typed. So this is one of the keyword that we understand. Now let's see what exactly the meaning of object oriented is. So object oriented is nothing but a programming paradigm. So there are different types of programming paradigms that I have classified here. The first one is object oriented programming. The second one is functional programming, and the third one is procedural programming. And Apex comes under the object oriented programming. The reason why Apex comes under the object oriented programming is because it is built on top of Java, and Java is 100% object oriented programming language. So that is the reason why the Apex is object oriented programming. And the meaning of object oriented programming is we have to write our code in terms of classes and objects. So that is the meaning of object oriented programming. The meaning of functional programming is we have to write our logic based on functions. So there is no concept of object oriented, means we can't define the classes and objects in functional programming. And in case of procedural programming, we have to write our code in terms of procedures. So whenever we call our particular that particular procedures, that we call it as a procedural call. So that is the example of C. So C is actually a procedural programming. So that is the meaning of object-oriented programming. Let's see the server-side programming. So server-side programming is something that actually being used as a server-side activities. So Apex is a server-side programming language because we can do server-side activities by using the Apex. So what are the server-side activities? So server-side activities includes we can perform DML statement. What is the DML statement? DML is nothing but a data manipulation language, and And the data manipulation language includes insert, update, delete, these statements. And we can do these statements, we can perform these statements on a record inside the Apex, and that is one of the server side activity. Apart from that, we can query the database using the SOQL. We can search the keyword in the databases by using SOSL, and we can also write our APIs or integrate with the other system by either exposing our APIs or maybe we can make a call out by using the existing APIs provided by the other system. So that is the meaning of server side activity. So this is a very, very, very powerful tool that we can do these activities. And the last term is high level programming language. So the meaning of high level programming language includes that it is more closer to the human, not with a machine. So there are two categories again, high level programming and the low level programming. High level programming means it is more closer to the human being, so we have to write our logic in the English language, not with the binaries. So whenever we says that it is a particular language is a low level programming language, it means we have to write the logic in terms of binaries, assemblies, and so on. So the example of low level programming is 8085 8086 microprocessors, whereas the high level programming includes Apex, Java, C++, because those are actually in the English language. So that is why it is a high level programming language. And apart from that, Apex runs in a multi-tenant environment, ensuring code adheres to Salesforce's strict limits to ensure fairness and stability. So the meaning of this statement is that Apex is running on each and every instance of Salesforce, and Salesforce introduces the concept of governor limit. So I will cover these topics like the governor limits, SOQL, SOSL, DMLs, all these, each and every part of it in my later videos. So stay tuned with me. I'm going to cover each and everything. Don't worry about it. So this is all about the Apex. Let's try to understand what all thing we can do using the Apex. So what are the use cases? So the first use case that I can think about is automating the business process. So basically, uh, whatever be the business logic, we can automate that particular business logic by writing the triggers or writing the logic within the Apex class. And also we can do the custom logic, creating a custom logic for Salesforce applications. It means we can write the validation rules within the Apex and so on. So that is one of the use case that we can do. Apart from that, we can also integrate with other systems using the Apex. The entire logic we can build for the APIs thing that we can do using the Apex. So these are the few use cases, but it is more beyond that. We can write. Uh, we can also handle other use cases too. These are few use cases. I'll cover each and every use cases in my later videos. So this is all about the introduction to Apex. So now I'll be going to show you one practical program of Hello World in the developer console by using the Apex. So how can we go to the developer console? So for that, you have to log in into your Salesforce org. So this is my dev org. Once you will log in, you will see this page, and then you have to go to the gear icon. So you have to click on this setup icon, click on the developer console, and it will be going to open this particular uh, window, and you will do the entire development of Apex programming here only. Although you can also do the programming in the VS Code, but we will see how we can do the programming in the VS Code later in the videos. I will show you how we can connect the VS Code with our Salesforce instance. So that is the later topic. So for now, we will do the development in the developer console. So in order to write a hello world program, we have to create a Apex class. So because I already told you, because Apex is object oriented programming, everything will be done in terms of classes and objects. That's the reason we have to create a class. So let me remove this particular variable because I have used this particular statement only to show you the strongly typed meaning. So I'm saving this particular thing. So how can you create the class? Let's try to understand that particular thing. So in order to create a class, you have to click on file, click on new, and then you have to click on Apex class. And once you will click on the Apex class, it will ask you to write the name of that particular Apex class. So whatever you want to write, you can write the class name and then click on OK. So I already created a class for you, the hello world. So I'll use this particular class. Now I'll be going to create one static method. Let's say the name of this method is say hello, and then I will print one statement. And in order to print the statement, here we used to write system.debug statement, and this will be used to log a debug statement in the debug log. So this is how we actually print it. And whenever you start a programming language, you used to create the very first program of hello world. That's the reason I want to show the hello world program. Now I have to call this particular method. So in order to call this method, I am using the class name dot method name to execute this method. So if I will call this particular class and the method, it will going to create one debug log. And if we will click on debug only checkbox, it will going to print the hello world program. So now you can see the hello world is printed. And that's all about this video, guys. If you like this video, share it with your friends. If you have any questions, comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe my channel. I'll be going to cover each and every topic of Apex from basic to advanced. So stay tuned with me in my later videos. So